Alberta Primetime with Michael Higgins.
Welcome to Alberta Primetime. Ahead tonight, our politics panel on Skate Canada's response to Smith government legislation. But first, a request to reallocate resources.
We can take those dollars, and I've been told that we can if the decision is made to remove it. Those dollars would stay in our community to work towards recovery and helping those that are struggling in our community.
The Mayor of Lethbridge on penning a letter to the Smith government asking for the city's temporary overdose prevention site to be removed, a decision that ultimately rests with the province. And Blaine Hyggen joins us now for a year-end conversation. Mayor Hyggen, good to see you again, sir, and a belated congratulations on repeating the election win back in October.
Well, thanks so much for the invitation to be here. And yeah, what a time it was, but I'm glad it's through that and we're moving on.
Well, and lots to discuss with you, including a call for respect of municipal politicians that you made post-election. But first, let's pick up on that call to close the local temporary overdose prevention unit. What's driving that request?
So I saw over the past couple of years, this was going to be a temporary unit that was now put in for 4 or 5 years that it's been temporary. And I saw what happened in Red Deer, and I saw what was happening in Edmonton and Calgary, and I wanted to make sure that if ours was being moved out of Lethbridge, that the resources would remain in Lethbridge. And that was a question that I had, because seeing the writing on the wall with this ROSC, recovery-oriented system of care, that the province was doing, that eventually I thought that this was going to be going anyways. And so I wanted to be proactive and make sure that those funds, $3.8 million, I think it is, would remain within our community to help those that are struggling with addiction.
And where do you see that nearly $4 million going? Where would you like to see it allocated, and why are you confident that is the right move to go forward?
Well, in talking to everything from our police service to the Blood Tribe Department of Health and others that I spoke to when I crafted this letter was I want to see some preventative methods used, but then also the different services that is providing right now. We need to make sure that those services are still provided in one way, shape, or form. So if it's finding and connecting folks with the services that they need, and with if it's housing or if it's recovery or whatever that is, we want to make sure that those services are covered within these funds, and so the funds aren't taken away, as well as the mobile unit. And then we're struggling with trying to financially find a way to cover some of these costs. If it's security I know that some of it's covered as well, and support services, we want to make sure that those were covered.
And with this change, of course, how do you see that being received in the community?
Do you know what? It's been received very well. It's been received very well, and just because, and I'll go back to when our larger supervised consumption site was open in the community. A question that I had received about the closure of this one, or asking it to be closed, was that what will happen? There will be a spike in overdose deaths, but when we closed the previous, when the province had closed the previous supervised consumption site, we've seen over a 90% drop in overdoses since the closure of that. And so it's something where I thought, my gosh, what are we doing? It's the recovery side and getting those folks connected to services, which I believe the dollars would be better used in. And so this is why we decided to go that way.
Okay. You're now into your second term as mayor. And in the days following the October municipal election, you were quoted as having some strong words for online commenters. What motivated that request for respect of the incoming city council?
It's a different world right now, and it's a world where there's a lot of frustration out in the community, and it's easy to hop on social media and to make comments. And I've just asked folks that are online and make some of these comments and these threats that I myself and my family had received. I wanted to be able to sit down with these folks. So I'll reach out to them, and they don't want to meet. They just want to converse online, and they like the likes and the shares and the comments that come from saying things that are are not right. And respect is important. I'm able to talk about any topic that you want to talk about. You might not like what you hear when I give my point of view, but I think it's important that we get together and we chat about these things, because we're not getting anywhere with some of the discuss that actually truly happens online, and it's been really frustrating to see that.
And how worrisome were those threats that you referenced?
Well, I've had everything for up to including death threats, and so it's something that no elected official. Don't get me wrong, we're never going to please everybody in the roles that we're in, but that's just off guard. It's something that should never happen. A conversation should happen and discuss the comments or suggestions or concerns that these folks have. And so it's something that I've tried to sell loud and clear, to have respect for those that are elected and those that are serving you, because they don't get up in the morning wondering what they're going to do to try to make the city less desirable. They're there to try to support the city moving forward. And so I just ask for respect, not just myself, from my colleagues and anyone that's in the service industry.
All right. On the flip side, results are out from a trio of local surveys painting growth and optimism, both from the standpoint of the business community and Lethbridge residents in general. So what's this reflecting about your city?
Well, it's great to be able to see a vast majority, over 90%, were rated the quality of life in Lethbridge as a very good or good. And so this is something that is exciting for us to be able to see. And, this is consistent over the years. And so it's something that honestly is puts a smile on our faces, and know that we're doing the right thing. There's always more that we can do. Don't get me wrong. I always find there's more that we can do to better our communities, but I think we're going in that right direction.
Some other municipalities might say they're challenged by the economic dynamics at play currently, the threat of tariffs. Is Lethbridge doing something different to avoid that?
Well, you know what? We've worked with our economic development in Lethbridge, and we've worked with the Chamber of Commerce, and we just liaise with so many different experts in that field to bring us information. And so, we'll continue to do that and rely on the experts, and hopefully we can continue moving in the direction that we are, and that's a positive direction.
All right. As we've referenced, you're in the early days of your second term as mayor. 2026 on the doorstep. So what do you and Lethbridge City Council prioritize in the coming year?
Well, we all heard loud and clear at the doors as throughout this campaign. One of the main topics was hold the line. And what they meant by that, and I'm sure you're well aware, is let's focus on our needs and not just our wants right now. Life isn't sustainable. We've heard loud and clear. They can't sustain additional tax hikes. And so, unfortunately, we probably don't have a lot of big, shiny objects as we're coming into our capital budget here next year, and because there's just no funding for that. So we just need to make sure that we are focused on those, on the infrastructure that we have, making sure that it's life cycled in the way that it should, so we don't have some of the issues that we've seen other communities have. But as far as the shiny new objects like the rec centers, etc., we have a pause on that right now, and we're focusing on the needs and more so than the wants right now.
All right. We'll have to leave it there for time. As always, appreciate your time, Mayor Hyggen. Thank you kindly.
Thank you so much for the invitation, as always.
That's Lethbridge Mayor Blaine Hyggen.